is a treat. Now listen, if you really want to beat the market, you got to pay attention to more than just stocks and equity analysts, CEOs of publicly held companies. You need to find real experts on subjects that matter to real people, and then you need to listen to them. That's why we are always thrilled to hear from Daymond John. He's the fashion designer and business person best known as the founder and CEO of FUBU, F-U-B-U, okay? Forrest Bias, panels on Shark Tank. Hey, Shark Tank Tuesdays on CNBC, not to mention being the author of The Brand Within and Display of Power. Hey, listen, Daymond John is the king of branding. And yes, this is absolutely something that can help you make money in the market. Back in April of 2010, he created the Daymond John Lifestyle Brand Index for us. Do you know that since these stocks, since then, are up 92%, S&P's only up 54% during that period. He came back and updated the Lifestyle Brand Index a year ago. His stocks have rallied 34%, S&P only up 18%. That's what I'm talking about. That's bankable. With that in mind, let's bring him on. Mr. John, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim.
Good to see you, partner.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you for making us so much money.
You know what? I want to give you some mission belts from Shark Tank. After I wore this belt, I will never wear it again. It's the Thanksgiving Day belt. No holes. It just opens up all the time.
Oh, I need that.
I love it.
I need that.
And my smart CEO, well, you gave me a lot of great compliments. I'm just going to put it up here to brag, right? Okay.
Well, I gave you a lot of great compliments because you've made people a lot of money, and a lot of people know you from Shark Tank. Shark Tank's unbelievable, and it's been probably the biggest thing that's been going on here. But I also want to talk about how you knew things. And I know I mentioned the index. First, I'm going to say that if you recall, you told me that you blew me away when you said, you know what, the iPhone may not be as hot as Samsung. Apple was really high. It's come down a lot. Is there any chance, just to follow up, is Samsung still cooler than the iPhone?
Samsung is still cooler at that point, and I believe that Samsung just spreading its wings a little, is grabbing enough people. You know what? I call it the say word factor. You know, in my neighborhood where we grew up, you know, you see something astonishing, it's the wow factor. You go, hey, you know the Samsung phone does this? Say word. Right? And so when I go and I look at a company, of course the analytics are all there, and I thank you for my guys, Steve Garber, Stanley Chu, and Ann Holdridge, who really helped me with my brands. But then I go and look at the physical way that it is causing the consumers to react. I go to the malls, I go places, and I want to look at it a little bit different. Well, I see things, yes.
Well, I mean, now let's go back over the big winners here. In the April index of 2010, you said Under Armour was going to be the hot one. We didn't think that. It's up 522%. Still hot?
It's smoking.
Is it really?
You know what? Some of the big guys are getting kicked out of the NBA, NFL. Under Armour is going all the way from the NBA, NFL. But you know what? They're starting to seed everything with the little kids. So you come up as an Under Armour individual. Also, they're going into fashion now. And I think that Under Armour is still smoking.
Okay. And then you had, last time you were here, everybody was writing it off. You said Facebook. It's now up 100%.
You know, with 1 billion friends and that imagery out there, and you're becoming, when grandma's on Facebook, sometimes it's not cool. But at the end of the day, you're going to be able to sell to everybody.
Okay, that's what matters. Now, you're not satisfied because you never are. You've got some new names. You talk about, for instance, Walgreens. You like that now?
I love Walgreens. You know they own Dwayne Reed, but you know what? The say word factor about Walgreens is their stores are so beautifully lit.
Mine is so
I'm like a moth. I look at the light, I go in. I can't help it, right? Also, the way they're designing it, it looks like Sephora for sandwiches. So I'm not going in anymore for drugs necessarily. I'm going in drugs, sandwiches, peanuts, whatever the case is, and that's hey, you know what? I go to Walgreens every day. Say word. Word? I go to Walgreens every day.
Greg Wasson, CEO, loves our show. We'll listen to that. Now, here's a kind of interesting one. Do we say word Tesla?
Tesla. You know what? Let me tell you something about Tesla. You know, when you go to the mall, Junior goes over to the arcade. Mom goes over to Sephora. You know where Dad wanders? He wanders around to Tesla. He doesn't go to any place else,
exactly right?
You walk outside of a luxury apartment building. You know where they're plugging in the Teslas because the stations are? They're right in front. I used to give a guy $100 to park my car in the front. You go down the street and you see a Tesla. Somebody goes, you know what? That's one of those Teslas. That's electric. Say word. And you know what they're also going to do? They're also creating another more affordable car, and that's why Tesla is the say word.
Okay, now here's a tough one. You got Netflix, AOL, Amazon, Sony, Crackle. That's not the cereal. It's a new device that sounds pretty hot.
Well, listen here. You know what? I'm in these rooms in Hollywood, and when I talk to these managers, 2 years ago, if you would have said an A-list artist is going to go on Netflix or AOL and have a show, they would have smacked that manager and thrown him out the window. But now all of a sudden, I can't walk anywhere out here hearing Kevin Spacey, House of Cards.
Yes.
Oh, Steve Buscemi's on AOL.
Right.
Say word. So what happens is this is a new delivery of a content that we love.
Okay, I like that. I think that they're all they're hot. Now, here's one that's really interesting, because I know that you are, with Daymond John Shark Associates, really getting into what I regard as the cutting edge of real estate. You like Wells Fargo. Obviously, you must see something in them apropos of the new work you're doing in inner city real estate.
Yes, and you know what? Here's why I like Wells Fargo, because Wells Fargo, their initiative is entrepreneurship, and I believe that the reason why people learn from The Profit, from Mad Money, from Shark Tank is because 50% of the millennials said they will never work for anybody in their life. And now that you have a computer, you can go into business for yourself. And I think that if you're attacking entrepreneurship, was really what this country was founded off of, but it's white hot, and I think that Wells Fargo's onto something. Now, what I want to do with my Shark Associates is, I think that Magic Johnson set the bar really high, and I think that, cities, inner cities, I want to create jobs. We have a fund behind us, $500 million, $1 billion, whatever you need. We have the money behind us to create jobs and bring them to the inner city. Maybe the banks don't understand, but I'm your shark. I'm like your anchor banker. I'm your shark. I understand, and I want to create jobs, and I'm doing that in Dallas, and I'm doing it in Miami, I'm doing it in Los Angeles.
Now, two of the finest companies I deal with who have a long-term perspective, maybe short-term the stock's been choppy, but long-term, are Whole Foods and Starbucks.
Absolutely.
They seem to understand your vision.
They absolutely do. You know, you got a Whole Foods in Brooklyn. You go in there, and people want to eat healthy. They work hard. They go out. They want to eat healthy. But you go into a Whole Foods, not only can you go and buy product there, they're becoming a restaurant in there. Soon I'm going to be able to get my hair cut in the place, right? They're creating jobs, and it's a double bottom line. And, you know, the same with Starbucks. And Starbucks did that a long time ago with Magic.
With Magic.
With
That's
Magic
why I
Johnson.
Because Howard Schultz always points out how proud he is that Magic had the vision and that he just followed along with it.
Listen, people work hard, they go home, and you know what? When you work next to me in the Empire State Building, you're used to Starbucks, right? You see Whole Foods in Midtown. When you go home, you already love that brand. Why not buy it again?
Well, can I say word about Daymond John?
Say word.
Say word, my friend. That's Daymond John, and you'll be able to see more of him tonight on Shark Tank. I hope you got these ideas, because, boy, he's made us fortunes. Stay with
Don't jinx me.
No!
All right.
I said it last time, and you were even better this time. Thank you, buddy.
Word.
Thank you.
All right.